Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the ultimate basics of reading your charts, which is market structure. Regardless of what strategy you are using to trade, be it indicators, price action, candlesticks, or whatsoever, everything ties back to market structure. Essentially, market structure is like a big master plan for you to see that where is the whole market is moving towards, be it going up, going down, or going sideways. And why is that so important is because by knowing that, you will know that where the bias is at and trade according to the bias. And without identifying your market structure, it's like you are driving on the road, but there's no road signs and you don't know where you're going. Yes, it's going to be chaotic. So, what builds up market structure? It's basically the highs and lows that you can see in the chart. How to consider it as high or lows? It basically looks like this. Look at the symbol beside, either up or either down. Those are your highs and lows. And another way to judge it, it's usually like a sharp turn. So what does an uptrend looks like? You'll notice that in an uptrend, highs are going higher and lows are going higher as well. So once we identify our highs and lows, then we can tell that, okay, price is having a higher high and another higher high, and the lows are also creating higher low and another higher low. And that's basically forms up an uptrend. Going to downtrend, you will also see your highs and lows, but the difference is the highs are constantly going lower and lower, and the lows are also going lower and lower. And it basically looks like this. And for sideways market or ranging market, basically the highs and lows they stays at the same line. All right, the same price or maybe just a little bit of difference that you can't actually tell that it's whether going up or going down. Let's plot our highs and lows. All right, so let's starting from here. Right, we can see that overall, yeah, it is going up, but by identifying my highs and lows, it's also very important because those are actually your entry points and your opportunity is at, right? So let's see. We have our high here, we have our low here, and then price created a higher high and a higher low. Right, and then price stays ranging or sideways here and breaks up, it created another higher high and another higher low. All right, so this whole thing here is going uptrend. All right, and after this higher low, price did not continue to create another higher high, but it goes sideways for a bit and pump going back down, and it creates a lower low. So at this point, what we can tell is price is shifting from an uptrend to a downtrend. All right, and why do I say that it's a downtrend now is because in downtrend we want to see that the highs are moving lower and the lows are moving lower as well. So we have our first high here and the second high here, which is lower, another lower high, another lower high, and another lower high. We have one low here, a lower low here, and another lower low here. So we can tell that this is going downwards. And in another example here, right, we can see that price is shooting up as well. Let's try to plot our highs and lows. We have our low here, we have our high here, and it created a lower low and going higher high. All right, price stays ranging a while here, but it still eventually break out, creating a higher high. So we have low, high, higher high, higher low, higher high, and higher low. So at this whole bunch here, it's an uptrend. All right, and moving forward, we notice that price has breakdown, creating a lower low, but it didn't create another higher high. So which means that there is a shift of trend happening here. There's no more new highs created, but created new lower low. So that's the starting of a trend shift. All right. At this whole chunk, let's plot our highs and lows. We have our high, we have our low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low. All right. So this whole bunch here, it's going downtrend. And let's come to the current price of Euro US dollar. And this is a typical ranging sideways market. All right. We can see that the highs are around this area, right? Let's just plot a line here. The highs are surrounding around this area, and the lows are also surrounding at this area. So which means that there's no clear market movement that where is this going? All right. So this is clearly a sideways market. So here comes how do I trade with market structure. To me, I don't really trade based on market structure itself, but I will look for other confirmations as well. Or I will just do a combination of market structure and moving average, for example. So first thing, again, identify my market type. whether it's going up, it's going down, or it's ranging going sideways. Let's just say that it's going up, right? So on the uptrend, what you want to see is you're able to plot your highs and lows. It's constantly creating higher high, higher lows, higher high, and higher lows. Wait for that sharp turn that you're waiting for, right? For example, in uptrend, you are waiting for another higher low to form, so then you can get a better entry with a tight stop loss, right? And by entering at higher lows, which is you're following the trend, and again following the trend, you won't die in the long run. Once the low high is formed, wait for a confirmation. It can be a candlestick pattern, it can be a moving average crossover, depending on which one you like. Once the confirmation is there, moving average and your candlestick pattern, lastly, enter without hesitation again. So in my current chart, what can I see? Yes, price is going up, and let's plot our structure, our highs and lows. So we can see that there's high, low, higher, higher low, and higher high. Okay, so now what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the higher low to appear. And again, remember, higher low, lows and highs are usually sharp turns. You can easily tell that if it's a sharp turn. For example, it's a sharp turn, it's a sharp turn, it's a sharp turn, and it's also a sharp turn. All right. So we're gonna wait for a sharp turn that happens at the bottom that creates our higher low. All right. Now, haven't happened yet. Let's wait. We see a sharp turn here. So this is our higher low. Again, once we see a higher low, we don't enter immediately. And in this case, I would use moving average and candlestick patterns as confirmation. So in our moving average, it has crossed over back up. Okay, first confirmation check. Second, I want to see a confirmation candlesticks. So here is a strong bullish candlesticks. Congratulations, guys. We have found an entry point. So once I see two confirmations here that aligns to my overall market structure, and I'll just plot a buy here right after I see the confirmation candle. So again, I like to set my risk and reward to 1 to 1. So there's 32 pips here, and that's about 32 pips here as well. All right, Ken, let's go and see what happens. Congratulations, we got our first take profit of the day. And then we're gonna wait again and see if it happens another time that give us another entry. We see a sharp turn here. Okay, so this could be our higher low. And let's see what happens next. Moving average, did it cross over? Yes, it did. Moving average crossover. Moving average crossover, and then the next thing I want to look for is candlestick patterns. So there's a candlestick pattern here. It's a huge bullish engulfing again. So once I see these two things, let's just enter for a buy immediately. Drag my stop loss slightly below my previous low, and that's about 24.5 pips, and I'm going to drag the same thing, 24 pips. Okay, and then let's just let it run. Ah, too bad. It has broken down there. Okay, stop loss incurred, it's fine. And let's see if we can wait for another entry point. Here is what I've noticed. Initially, the price has reached to here and hit our stop loss, right? And the next time when the price reached back here, it made a U-turn. All right. So this is something we call it as double bottom. Okay. It's one of the chart patterns that you can search on Google. There's a lot of it, right? So double bottom, it's a sign where price might move up. Okay. So this is the first thing I've seen. And again, back to my trading SOP. What I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for the moving average to cross back again. Right. The moving average has crossed back again. We have it here. And then what we also wait for is a candlestick pattern is like a bullish engulfing. So we have a huge bullish engulfing candle here. Okay, so again, what we do here, let's just go for another buy. We set our stop loss slightly below, about 35 pips. I set my take profit about 35 pips as well. All right, and let it run and see if we have gotten it this time. Congratulations. So in this setup, we have gotten 2 take profits and 1 stop loss. And again, that is totally fine, right? Control your risk and reward 1 to 1 and make sure that your win rate is high as long your wins are able to cover your losses, and that's good enough, right? We can't avoid losses all the time. Some losses are meant to incur, right? And if it happens, don't doubt yourself, don't doubt your trading strategy. It works for a reason. And again, there's nothing, it's 100%. All right, so here comes an example for a downtrend, right? So in here, at here, we can see that clearly it's going down. Let's plot our high and lows. There's a high here, there's a low here, there's our lower high and our lower low, right? So these 4 points consist to become a downtrend. All right, so what's the next thing that I'm going to wait for? I'm going to wait for the new lower high to form. At this point, nothing could be told yet, so let's just wait. So at this point, I can identify that this is my lower high. And why is that so? Is because if you look into it, you can notice that the price actually broke up the EMA, but immediately it made a U-turn back down and it's still below my moving average. And usually when the highs are created, if you take note that it typically goes up to moving average and then make a sharp turn, go up to moving average, make a sharp turn, and here comes another example. So once you see this happen, move up, create a sharp turn, yes, this is my lower high. Once I identify my lower high, I look for another confirmation. So the price is still below my moving average, so that is still valid. And I want to look for candlestick confirmation. So at this candle itself, it's already giving me a strong confirmation that is a going down trend. So this is also a bearish engulfing candle. So once we see a bearish engulfing candle, let's go. Immediately go for a sell. Place my stop loss slightly above about 30 pips. And I also place my take profit about 30 pips as well. Make it a 1-to-1. All right. So I think this would be a take profit. Congratulations. We got our first take profit in this setup. And last, if you like my video, do like, share, and subscribe. And see you at the next video. There's a few links that in my profile that you can click on. There's my community, there's my partner broker, and so on. All right. See you soon.